One major point of contention for Peter about this boat was its dropping keel. It was stuck. But not for long. They were able to drop it and retool the fitting in the keel itself. So now it goes up and down smoothly to give the boat more drift control. This is part of the Shipyard crew. I'm trying to speak better Creole. I still have a hard time understanding certain people. Kind of like this propeller. It's like Chinese to me, but it makes sense to Peter, who's mechanically inclined. The guys from Boat CV intervened in the drop keel project and the propeller.
Now, this mark here, is it still lining up with zero? Yeah.
And this type of mechanical prop is genius, yet complex.
Okay. See, that's not how it's supposed to stop. So what are we doing wrong?
After about 4 hours, the propeller was back together, and Peter's new boat was really new now. It was late Saturday afternoon. The guys had stayed late to put the boat back in the water, so that Popeye and Peter could bring his made-over beauty back home. Where? To Docas Marina, also known as the Fishing Club. Popeye's berth here is good for one more year, and now it's Peter's. And it was time to invite the girls to see what they thought of the new old girl. It was Sunday afternoon, and Lily and Peter had invited some close friends and family to the new boat.
Todo pecho frío se cría en el río teniendo lo suyo enseñando lo mío. Ahí donde empiezan todito los líos porque se
The girls brewed a batch of Cape Verdean caipirinas for all of us to share and turned on the music.
Tu Mercedes yo tengo una parking en la colección. Pero no son capaces de nada. Mantienen diciendo que lo que hay. Y si yo les digo se asustan. Estar en la cima, llegó a la meta. En bicicleta, todos se creen esos poetas. Porque han rimado calle con galleta.
I think this boat will do just fine for Peter and Lily's future.
Ser el primero en hacer las cosas porque no tiene la actitud.
And I had someone else's future in mind, Wendy's. She has poor eyesight, often gets headache after looking at her smartphone. So I took her into the eyeglass store near the marina to have her vision checked. The woman here did a detailed and thorough exam, and she determined that Wendy has very poor vision. She can barely see in the distance as well as up close. This probably does not help with her seasickness, but we will soon correct that. It should be a big game changer for her. The classes will be expensive, so if anyone wants to pitch in to give this young woman the gift of clear vision, drop a donation on my PayPal account. I'll make sure to let her know of your kindness and generosity. Speaking of kindness and generosity, my friend Sarney from Biosphera came by and offered me this fish he'd caught, so I went to work to prepare him. I don't like doing this job much, and I've watched many episodes of Sailorama, one of my favorite sailing channels. Robinson is a master fisherman and fillets fish like a master chef, man. He's great. That being said, I got plenty of fine fresh meat to cook up with onion, garlic, and spinach. A few spices, and a thorough helping of cream. I had no more rice, so I used the next best thing aboard. Voila. The next day I got a call from Elidio at the Shipyard. He wanted to come to Galopin with a diver to take measurements.
This is Carlos, the diver, and Elidio, the manager. They just came here to check out on my boat, and because we're going to take it out in a few days. So they just came to dive and see what the dimensions were to prepare a proper cart for it.
They were ready to haul out Galopin. I had to bring over to the tracks. A cart was waiting under the two black poles here. The divers were giving us instructions where to place the boat. But the swell was making things difficult. It was a super moon with higher tides. We had a hard time holding on to a good position. But for Elidio, it's all in a day's work. No stress. Same for Sydney and Orlando. Eventually, we felt the boat bottom out. The keel was resting on a cart. Now the boat will slowly be pulled along the tracks. This system is archaic, but it gets the job done. There is talk of financing and building a new infrastructure here. But what's important is that Galopin is high and dry. I wanted to do this in Senegal initially, but COVID had made us wait. And poor Galopin should not wait much longer to be taken care of. Look at the top of the rudder here. Once the starboard support were welded in place, Sydney here went right to work. You can rent the power washer from the yard, and I personally let Sydney go at it. He had done such a good job with Peter's boat that I hired him to care for Galopin. He'll be doing the sanding, painting, and fiberglass. I also hired Alex to take care of mechanics. First up was dropping the rudder. Not easy, but he did it. I couldn't do this on my own. Now look at the rudder. The good news is that my rudder is solid laminated hardwood. The bad news was the wood rotting at the waterline. There, where the oxygen mixes with water, you get rot, rust, and growth. Sydney thinks it will be a doable fix. Then Alex went to clean my fuel system. We checked the fuel tank and it's clean. But the fuel separator filter was very soiled. Some of you do-it-yourselfers are probably thinking, why is he not doing the work himself? I'll tell you why. First of all, I don't have time if I want to produce my weekly videos. Secondly, these guys are pros and have more knowledge and skills in their fields than I do. They work hard and have fantastic attitudes. Thirdly, they need and want the work, especially now. And they don't ask for a lot of money. To haul out your boat here, you first must talk to Elidio at their offices near the Maritime Police.
Here we are with Elidio. We're going to the office to take care of some business. This is Elidio who runs the shipyard that took out my boat yesterday. So now we're going to do some business.
Well, this is my home for the next few days. I have shore power and water in my tanks. But I can't use my toilet. I have no black water tank. A real drawback here at the shipyard, there's no bathroom or toilet. So where does one go? Well, look no further. I personally use the poop back method. Used it when I was on a hard in France. I just put a plastic bag in the toilet, close the seat, do my business, and dispose in another trash bag when finished. Then dispose of everything in a proper trash container. The shipyard is planning the installation of a functioning toilet. But right now, and if you don't want to live aboard here and do like Peter, get an apartment and manage your toiletries in relative luxury. I have an invitation to stay at Peter's anytime, but I need to be with and inside Galopin. All my stuff is here. Obviously, Cindy is doing some glorious sanding. Then there's Alex here, changing the cutlass bearing. He got the propeller off but had problem with one screw. Problem solved. Alex and Sydney have my full trust, and I'm already friends with Alex. And I think this dude and I are fast becoming friends. There's our Dutch friend Boud, who came to visit with his boat and then got grounded. He was quickly out with the help of locals. My job so far has been to fetch stuff like tools and supply from way up on Galopin. It's good repetitive exercise for my leg. And then I did take care of my prop. In between coats of paint, Sidney has been making progress on my rudder. Here you can see what he's planning. A makeshift mold from scraps, then he'll mix epoxy with fibers. He'll pour epoxy down the holes and pack epoxy and fiber paste way in there. It was Sunday, day of rest, so a quick break is in order for everyone, but not for long for Sidney. He wants to finish sanding so he can paint tomorrow. It was great to have you along on this voyage. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed this series. Me and Galopin promise you a good time every Wednesday, so welcome aboard.